Welcome, everybody, to Utah Daily, a podcast where we interview the doers, thinkers, and achievers of Utah. My name is Skylar Beitendorp, and today I have Curt Derby, who is the first repeated guest on this podcast. Curt, thanks for coming on a second time.
Skylar, thank you. I'm delighted to be here again.
Of course.
It's great.
And so you came on the first time, which was like a year and a half ago now?
It's February 24.
February 24. Okay, we're at 2 years.
Almost, yeah. Oh my gosh. It's February 26.
Yeah.
You're right.
Wow, I can't believe it's been that long.
I know, it doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't. But I had a lot of fun with that episode, and we've spoken probably almost every week since. We went over a lot of topics of like religion and entrepreneurship, and you have a big, I don't know, just like a background where you did a lot of different things, and you have a very unique perspective, and you've written a book since the last last interview, and that is connected to your shirt you're wearing. If you're watching this on video, you can see what is the perfect society, which if you want to find out really quick before this episode ends, go to everybodyshappy.com. Right. But quick
Within 3 minutes.
Yeah, we already got a shout out.
Nice.
But tell me, tell us what the book is about really quick, and then I have some other questions about your book that and just in writing a book in general that I'm curious about.
Actually, I was thinking about this earlier today. You were instrumental in a lot of this. I started writing my book called Everybody's Happy, Everybody Wins: How to Build a Perfect Society back in fall of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was just thinking I'll promote it like a normal person might promote it, put it on Amazon, just put it on eBay, probably self-publish, et cetera, whatever. Then I happened to be online and I saw an ad for Utah Daily looking for guests, and specifically entrepreneurs. And I thought, well, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got entrepreneurial background. So I reached out to you, and hence the February of 24. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff, which was a lot of fun. And anyway, after it was over, I had such a good time, and I had asked you for a recording of it, which you gave me. And I asked probably 24 of my friends and colleagues, like, hey, can you listen to this and give me honest feedback? Literally everybody was gushing about how you sounded and how I sounded, weirdly enough. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if podcasting, YouTube, Instagram, if that would be a good way to promote the book. So I think if it weren't for that first interview with you, I may not have gone the podcasting YouTube route that I've gone. But at any rate, so the book, real quick, it's very short. It's very readable. A non-reader even, could enjoy it. I wrote it with very simple words, very simple terms. It's not super analytical or intellectual, but it's a little bit about politics, a little bit about culture. Basically, it says, how do we build a perfect society in America? And it's very simple. That we're actually pretty close here in the United States, believe it or not. And there's just a couple small tweaks that we could make to make a huge difference. So that's what the book is about. And again, once I had finished writing it in summer of 24, and I started my YouTube channel January 25. And a lot of the content on my YouTube channel is about the book.
Okay.
And the channel is called The Perfect Society.
Yeah. So go check out that channel. It feels like in the United States, people are more divided than ever before. And you're saying that we are not too far away from a perfect society. How can that be possible?
I know, it's kind of counterintuitive. And you're right. We are almost violently diametrically opposed now.
I would say we are.
Yeah, for sure. Over the last decade at least, maybe the last 15 years. And therein lies the problem, because whoever's in charge, right? So who's in charge right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's president?
Okay, Trump.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the Republicans are kind of in charge, right?
Yeah.
And who's miserable?
The Democrats.
They are so miserable.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, who was in charge?
The Democrats.
Who was miserable?
Republicans.
The exact opposite. You ask a Republican 2 years ago, they were as miserable then as the Democrats are now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. As long as one of those is in power, half the country is going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
and miserable and paranoid. And so what we need is a structure so that the Republicans can do their Republican things, the Democrats can do their Democrat things, non-affiliateds can do non-affiliated things, libertarians can do libertarian things, Green Party, et cetera. Communists can be communists, capitalists can be capitalists. We are a big enough country and a big enough world that there exists a structure of government where that can be possible. And that's exactly what I write about.
Gotcha. How many pages is your book?
Well, right now it's 101, but I'm in a rewrite, and I'm only going to adjust a couple small things. And it's 101. Sorry, long answer. It's 101 pages in the digital copy, but I'm now going to do some printed copies, and it looks like it's going to be around 200.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean it's twice as long. It's the same length. It's just the way the formatting is.
Yeah.
I should have just said it's about 200 pages.
That's all right. That's all right.
The analytical author's mind just has to say more than required.
All the details.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Okay, so it almost sounds like you'd have like two different parties in power at the same time, but there would be a third. It's a third party, right? Like,
no, it's even better than that. Sorry to interrupt. So it's the Happy Party. I have a federally registered political party called the Happy Party.
Okay.
And the Happy Party is going to set the perfect society in motion. And the perfect society is outlined exactly in the book about how it's going to work. So just briefly, though, the obstacle we're having today and in all the decades past is the Republicans have certain policies. The Democrats have certain policies. And they're almost always completely opposite.
Yeah.
Which is why half the country is miserable. The other half is elated until the next election. Then they take turns. They trade off. Right. So the Happy Party does not operate on policies. It operates on principles. So, for example, there's 4 pillars of freedom that I talk about. Each one is a principle. And under those 4 principles, each of the parties can flourish. And that's what the difference is.
So let me give you an example and tell me how this would work. So like it seems like one party wants more of the open borders, everyone come in, and one is like closed borders, high restrictions. How would you like find a middle ground there?
You asked the most complex question of the Happy Party.
Yeah.
And the short answer, I just said there's no policies with the Happy Party. That's actually going to have to be a policy.
Yeah.
Because somebody's got to set the rules on immigration. And I've been going through trying to figure out what the best way is, and I'm still not decided. I think there's lots of different options. One, we keep it the way it is with rules, and you have to, do certain things. Another way is completely open borders, which I think would make the Democrats happy. The third way is don't let anybody in. I mean, there's a lot of countries in 2026 around the world that operate that way. That just, hey, we've got to, and it's an interesting question. Why do we need immigration? Do we need it?
Right.
I think when the country first started, we did, because we needed people to cultivate the land and build cities and all these things. So honestly, the Happy Party for now is kind of leaning in that direction, that what about just closed borders? We've got plenty of population here. We've got plenty of innovation. I don't know the answer to that. So you stumped me on that one.
All right.
It's okay. It's actually one that I've been thinking a lot about, and it
sounds like, yeah, it's on your mind. It's something you're like trying to figure out what is the best way to do that. And yeah, I know it's like a very political topic, and like a lot of people get raged about it, So, okay, what about like something like a big thing is like abortions?
That one's real easy. Okay, so there's 4 pillars of freedom. And all you have to do with any topic, including abortion, including open borders or whatever, is go through those 4 principles and you'll get your answer. So real quick, the first pillar of freedom, and so you'll answer your own question here.
Okay.
The first pillar of freedom says 3 things. All Americans matter. All Americans have a voice if they want to use it. And it's better that all Americans run the country rather than 500 federal politicians in Washington. Now, of those 340 million people, if they like some of those politicians and they want to follow them, that's fine. But instead of 500 people running the show, all of us run the show. So that's pillar one. Pillar two says freedom must exist for a perfect society, not force. So anywhere we see force in the government, anywhere we see force in culture, anywhere we see force in laws, then it's probably not a bad thing. Pillars 3 and 4 we can get to in a minute, but just based on those two pillars, where do you think abortion would fall?
It sounds like it's a majority wins type thing when we're all running the country. So as long as most people vote, is it like a 51% type thing? Is that how it would work?
Oh, voting for policies?
Yeah.
No, not at all. So the policies are established by the principles. So again, pillar one, all Americans matter. All Americans have a voice. Where does abortion fall in there?
I mean, I see it as like it's a human being in there, right? And so that's an American.
So if you abort the baby, do they have a voice?
No.
There you have it.
But I feel like some people would argue they don't have a voice already because they're not even, they can't live outside the womb.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
No, you're fine. So also, all Americans matter.
Yeah.
Is that baby in the womb an American?
Yes.
Okay.
I just see people like making that argument like it's not viable.
It's not
a citizen yet. It's not like a...
That's a deeper... No, you're right. And I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yeah, good.
It's a... That one takes more time.
Yeah.
I think what I would say, and this has nothing to do with the happy party or politics at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Upon conception, what is that thing?
A fertilized egg?
Fertilized? It's a what?
A human.
It's a human.
Yeah.
So if it's a human, does it have human rights?
I think so.
I do too. Now, some people would argue that the parents have more rights than the baby, especially the mother, because the mother has to carry the baby. Mm-hmm. And I get it. I understand that argument. But again, it boils down to, is that a human being? And if it's a human being, is it afforded the same rights as all other human beings? Mm-hmm. And if so, we can't snuff its existence.
Yeah. I hear some people make the argument that's just like it's a clump of cells. Like it can't think for itself yet. It can't live by itself yet.
Good argument. A clump of what kind of cells?
Human
cells. It always goes back to a human being.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a clump of cells. It's not viable. It's not fully developed. Okay, what's not fully developed? What type of cells? Every answer comes back to human.
Yeah.
Now, let me kind of supersede this a little bit.
Sure.
Because I think, and I believe that the people who are pro-abortion, pro-choice, which is kind of ironic because the baby doesn't get a choice, right?
Right.
But at any rate, they say, well, I don't want to carry that baby. I don't want to be responsible for it. I don't want to pay for it, et cetera. And I get that because babies aren't always convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think the problem then is we've had 50 plus years of killing human beings. And I think we're used to the idea. And instead of focusing on what do we do with this thing inside the mom, how about we focus instead on birth control? How about we focus instead on abstinence? How about we focus instead on if you accidentally get pregnant, what are some resources that are out there that can help you? Yes, it's inconvenient for 9 months. Is it okay to kill a child for convenience sake? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. And the 4 pillars of freedom also say no. Mm-hmm. They also, pillar number 2 is freedom, not force. Are we forcing anything on a child in the womb if we're killing it?
Yeah.
It's the ultimate force. You're destroying it. You're ripping its limbs from its body. You're smashing its brain. Like it's total force.
Yeah.
So again, I get that, a lot of people are still concerned, well, you're forcing me to have a baby. Well, no one forced you to have sex.
You chose.
You chose it.
It's a consequence to an action.
Exactly.
And like you tried to avoid it, but you're kind of doing the act that leads to that. That is like designed to create another life.
Totally. It's like, if I'm going to go play in traffic on the highway, it's 75-mile-an-hour cars, and I get hit. Am I going to get mad at the car for hitting me? It's like, no, you idiot. You went in there and, you're playing with fire.
It's a really good example.
And look, it is. And I love sex. I really do. I'm totally cool with premarital sex. I've done it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm careful. I'm careful who I'm with, and I want to make sure we're on birth control and we're responsible. I have a child. He was planned with a wife, and it's the greatest thing in my life is my kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he was planned.
Right.
If I was 22 and I made a girl pregnant because I was careless, I'd probably want to abort it. I really would, because I wouldn't want the inconvenience. But again, it just goes back down to principles. What are the 4 principles that creates a perfect society? And abortion would not fit in the perfect society. Yeah. And honestly, I think if you, and I don't mean to generalize, but I think a lot of Democrats and liberals are pro-choice. That's kind of their thing, right? And a lot of Republicans are not. So just kind of retraining the liberal mind by saying, look, we don't want to take away your freedoms. We don't want to force you to do something you don't want to do. But why don't you think about this in a different way? Think about it like, just don't have sex until you're married, or make sure you're both using birth control, or look at the woman's cycle to make sure, she's not ready to ovulate. I don't know the science of that, but like so many people are getting pregnant and using birth control using abortion as birth control.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just don't think it's a good excuse. I don't think we should kill anybody.
Agreed. What about, let's talk taxes for a second. That I'm actually really curious on what your idea is there. Are you keeping taxes the same, changing it? Give me a quick rundown on your tax plan.
Sure. That's actually pillar number 3.
All right.
So pillar number 1, all Americans matter. All Americans have a voice, and we don't have to let a small group rule us.
Mm-hmm.
Pillar number 2 is freedom, not force. So if pillar 2 is freedom, not force, how do taxes fall into that?
Like right now? Yeah, right now there's something I've never forgot. The example you gave is essentially we're paying taxes at gunpoint, where if I don't pay taxes, the government is going to send me a letter saying you owe. If I don't pay, they'll probably get another one. Then I'll get a knock on my door, or I'll get summoned to this. If I don't do that, then eventually I'll get the police called on me. And if I don't go with the police, you said guns will be drawn. And you're right. I'll be taken by force for not paying taxes.
You've got a great memory. That's exactly how.
Well, I just remember you saying that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is true.
That is true.
We're all paying taxes
at gunpoint,
staring down the barrel of a gun.
Right. And look, I'm happy to pay certain taxes.
Yeah.
I think most of us are.
Right.
But we are paying them at a point of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of Americans like that.
I'd almost be happier to pay taxes if I knew it was more my choice.
And you would pay for stuff that you believe in. Mm-hmm. And so would I.
Yeah.
And so would everybody else.
Yeah.
So the answer is this. Taxes are not forced upon us. They are voluntary. There's 3 ways to do it. 1, we can keep paying taxes the way we've been paying them. Taken out of your paycheck, paying them at the end of the year on your property taxes, paying them quarterly if you're a business owner. You can just keep doing that, and it can keep going to all the places it's been going to, if you like that. Or you can have it come out of your paycheck, pay at the end of the year, pay quarterly, but you choose where that money goes to whatever services you want. A 3rd way is complete freedom. So it doesn't come out of your paycheck. It doesn't have to be paid at the end of the year. It doesn't have to be paid quarterly. You pay whatever you want to pay for whenever you want to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 3 basic ways. In my book, I also talk about, there's probably 15 or 20 other ways. Like we do the roundup now, at the cash register. We do fundraisers. We do bake sales. We do the lottery. When people play the lottery, a portion of that goes to taxable services. So there's all kinds of other ways besides paying it out of our paycheck. There's literally dozens or hundreds of ways that we can pay taxes. But the point is, your question is, how do we handle it? We handle it without guns.
Yeah, right.
We handle it like we pay for what we want to pay for.
So what are some things you're paying for in taxes now that you have no choice on that you wish you didn't have to?
Public school in my neighborhood.
Okay, and so you don't want to pay for that because
my kids don't go there.
And that makes sense. Why would you?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that same money going to my kid's high school.
Mm-hmm.
I pay $1,300 a year for elementary school that's like 2 blocks away from me. And if my kid was going there, I'd be cool with that because my family would get the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more fair if that money that I'm paying goes toward the high school he is going to, which is in a different city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I forgot my train of thought. Lost it. Anyway, is there anything else?
What's something? Well, honestly, I don't think so because
like that's the main one that comes to your mind.
That's the main one. See, and I'm a different story because I'm retired. So the only taxes I'm forced at gunpoint are my property taxes. So the property taxes is where the public schools go in. Now, if I was an employee, like most people are, and I would not want my money going to Ukraine. I would not want it going to Iran. I wouldn't want it going to the military bombing some country. The military, for me and for the happy party and for the perfect society, military is for defense only. We don't go over and tell other countries how to run their country. We don't tell them what leaders they ought to have. Because again, freedom, not force.
Mm-hmm.
Pillar 2.
Yeah.
All the military action that we're doing across the world where we're bombing places or even just moving our I almost said Star Destroyer, our aircraft carriers. I was just thinking of a big ship.
Star Destroyer.
Let's move our Star Destroyers over there. Putting aircraft carriers near countries to kind of threaten them.
Yeah.
Like that's force.
Mm-hmm.
So it violates Pillar 2. So our American government would not do any of that. But anyway, if I were working, I wouldn't want that.
Right.
Certain social programs, I would not. I would rather fund voluntarily than have the government figure out how they're going to use my money.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So then how would people pay for like policemen, firemen, the roads, just like public parks? How is all that funded?
Well, everything that I just said, it's all voluntary. So some people like the current method. They don't want to change it.
Yeah.
They keep doing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So the money keeps coming out of their paycheck or they keep paying their property taxes at the end of the month or business owners like you. I don't know if you pay quarterly, but I used to when I owned certain businesses, pay quarterly. You can keep doing that and it can keep going wherever. But there's a lot of people who would willingly pay for roads, businesses especially. Businesses need roads for people to drive to their business.
Yeah.
And people need highways to get to work.
Yeah.
So everybody would pay for roads.
Mm-hmm. So that would be like, it can't be a requirement because it can't be force. But then how do you get everyone to pay for roads that everyone uses? Because there's going to be people that are going to say, well, I can get away with it, so I'm not going to help pay for it. And I'll still have the road at my convenience.
Sure. So there's a couple answers to that. Maybe the simplest is this. I created a website and an app called Easy Tracker. And Easy Tracker has all of the taxable services listed. And you can look it up by city, by county, by state, or over the entire country. So every taxable service is listed. So for the example of the state we're in Utah. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't know how the roads work. Is it a state thing? Is it a county thing? I don't know. This is where we need city planners to chip in and
educate us a little bit on how things
well, but see, a lot of people, when they hear about the happy party, they're going to convert. Republicans are going to love the happy party because they're going to get a lot more of what they want than they do now, even with Trump as president. The Democrats especially, they're super jonesing for the happy party right now because they ain't getting nothing. And they're just freaking out because they think Trump's a fascist. Mm-hmm. So all the political parties out there, once the word gets out, they're going to convert to the happy party. So my point is the Republican mayors, the Republican governors, the Democrat mayors, the Democrat governors, the Democrat city council people, the Democrat city planners, all these people that are already in government positions, once they are happy partiers, then they know how to pay for roads. You know, they know how it's structured. But we don't know as citizens because we don't know how much that stuff costs. We don't know what the budgets are. So it's only fair that if we're going to be paying for stuff, like how much does it cost for Utah roads?
Right.
Do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't either. But we've been we've been paying taxes for however many years, just not thinking about it.
Right.
And this is where the shift changes. And this is why things are going to get cheaper. They're going to get more efficient. We're going to have more money in our pockets. And people are going to be happier because all these things, we're still going to have everything we have. but it's not going to cost nearly as much. And when it's all said and done, we're going to have more money in our pockets.
Do you still need the Federal Reserve?
That's a great question. I don't know. That's something else.
Do we really need it now?
Well, I'll tell you what we don't need for sure is the interest rates.
Yeah.
The prime plus whatever. That is such nonsense. Like, who's this one person in this one like central bank that tells the rest of us what the minimum interest rate is?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, if I'm a bank and I want to charge you 20%, I'm allowed to charge you 20%.
Right.
And if you're a bank and you charge 2% because you want to compete with me, you charge 2% because you can make that work, right? But this whole thing with the Federal Reserve with the interest rates, that's absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Short answer, I don't think we need the Federal Reserve, but I'll admit that I don't know all the functions of the Federal Reserve. So that's another one of those things like borders that the happy party is going to have to figure out, like, what's the policy? How does the Federal Reserve work, if at all?
Yeah.
You're asking all the hard ones.
Hey.
But that's okay because word gets out.
All right.
In my book, I cover a lot of the easier ones. Taxes is actually pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it because it's like, so like, let's say, for example, because I live in South Jordan, and let's say there's a road that is just falling apart. Is there a way that I can say, hey, I would like this road fixed. I'm going to put money towards this road. And maybe I don't have any idea how much it costs, or maybe someone does, and we can say, hey, we need, I don't know, $100,000 to fix this road. I can just keep pouring into that until it's fixed. Is that right?
Yes. Or how about this? All Americans matter and all Americans have a voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's 1,000 people in South Jordan that are just as upset as you are.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you guys get online in the South Jordan Facebook group or the South Jordan Instagram group? Because social media is a thing now.
Yeah.
And all of you say, hey, this road, this such and such road is such a pain in the butt. How about we just freaking fix it? We don't need to wait for the government to swoop in and save us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's the paver in this group? Who does road work in this group? What are you going to charge us citizens? And we'll fix it. See, this is where things have to shift a little bit because we rely too much on the government.
Yeah. So they don't necessarily, we don't need to say, hey, city, we want this fixed. I can just go to John Hancock down the road and say, you know how to do this. You know how to do it well. You have 10 years of experience, 100 5-star reviews. How much?
Exactly. And if there's, Bob Smith next door to him also does the same thing, let him compete.
Yeah.
That's why things get cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe one of them will just do it for cost because they want their name attached to the project. And they're going to bust their ass making sure that that project is done perfect because they want future referrals.
Mm-hmm.
See, so we're not just relying on the government to do, and you don't have all the middlemen in the government. You're just dealing with John Hancock and Bob Smith.
Yeah. So that feels like I have way more control over what does and doesn't happen. And it sounds like there's a central place where that everyone can see this is the project I'm trying to get funded, and please donate to this one. And yeah.
And that can be on Easy Tracker, or it could just be general social media.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'll admit that the perfect society would have worked all throughout history, but it's so much easier today because we're so interconnected with the internet.
Yeah.
And we, globally, statewide, countrywide, like we can talk to each other like that. And we can get into these groups and say, hey, Main Street in South Jordan is a piece of crap. And 1,000 other people pile on. Yes, it is. Let's fix it. We'll each contribute $100.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And then you got it paid for.
Sounds like a lot of our systems right now are just like outdated with just based on what's available now. It's like there are way better ways to do everything. And I know it's just going to get better and better and worse with AI because AI is going to do all the thinking and do everything for us. But anyway.
No, I talk about that a lot in the book. Our current system is antiquated. Our political system is antiquated. Maybe it kind of worked 100 years ago when we needed a centralized bank or we needed a centralized government. But look, most countries, I know everyone wants to freak out about Russia and China. Oh, we need to buy Greenland because they're going to attack us. Why would China attack us? They need our economy. Look, they got Temu and Wish.com. They steal from us, literally. I mean, they copy our products and sell them on their own website. Why would they bomb us and kill us?
Yeah.
There's no reason. Same with Russia. Now, Iran and the Middle East, they're a little different because they're a little crazier. But in any country, and that's why we need a strong defense, right? We still need a military in the Happy Party. But again, like this whole, most in 2026, we have 200 sovereign nations around the world. Most places aren't invading other places to get their land anymore. I mean, that's antiquated. So my point is, we have a lot of antiquated things right now that the Happy Party fixes and the Perfect Society fixes. And we're all happier.
Yeah. Is there like a recommendation on like how much of your income should go towards taxes in your book?
No,
Like
it's
10%, 5%?
free is free. I mean, if we're following Pillar 2, you know, you're free to contribute however you want, however much you want. But I will tell you this, me personally, my property taxes, I pay $1,300 for a school I don't use. I'd gladly pay that same amount to the school my kid goes to. I pay about $110 a month for county, or a year, $110 a year for county library. I'd pay $1,000 because I use the county library like crazy. So I could theoretically pay for 10 people instead of just the one. And a lot of other people would too. Readers would contribute to the library. I don't know what else. Parks. People who use the parks all the time, they might pay for the parks more than the library because they don't go to the library. But they'll pay more for the parks. Anyway, to answer your question, no, there's no recommended percentage. It's you pay what you want to pay. But people would be motivated to pay more for certain things because they use them. They like them. They want them to stay nice.
Yeah. Yeah. This would be so cool to like I wonder if you could do like a mini test or something on your whole system before running it, but I don't know if that's really possible. But
yeah, I've thought a lot about this. In fact, one of the last things I write about in the book is how can we make this change? One way is for culture to change and then elect Happy Party facilitators.
yeah.
Another way is to have local politicians read the book and they say, hey, man, this is the best way to do it. All of us are going to get what we want. The third way is, you know, a mayor, a governor, a president makes the change. That would be the best way because that'd be the quickest. But a lot of politics go on at this level.
Yeah.
But at the city council level, I don't know. I think if a couple city council people in smaller cities start it, word will get around.
Yeah.
Because they'll say, hey, South Jordan is so happy. Look at all these people talking online about how great South Jordan is. And a lot of people start moving to South Jordan.
Exactly.
Why do they keep moving there? Well, it's a perfect society. Oh, what's perfect about it? Let's copy what they do. And then it spreads like wildfire. So that's how you do the test, I think, is to have certain people in smaller governments start it. It'd be great if Trump adopted it right away, but I doubt he would. Or Biden or Obama.
So are you interviewing people from the city council or in government positions or city positions that can kind of, I don't know, help get this started?
I would love to. I haven't yet, and it's probably my own bias. My bias says that they're going to stick to their politics.
Yeah.
That's what they've grown up with. That's what their constituents want. So why would they interview with me and within 30 minutes say, oh, yeah, this is a better system than what I've got?
Yeah.
Because there's pride and there's arrogance and
just got to interview like a faceless interview.
Well, either that or do somebody that's retired, like a retired mayor, a retired governor.
Yeah.
Then they could be more objective.
Start there.
I think so. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe I could get Trump in here and explain it. See, that's why I think, a lot of people think that Democrats and Republicans are just always going to fight, and they are if we keep the system the way we got. But they just don't know a better way. So the Republicans are just diehard their ideas. Democrats are diehard their ideas. They don't consider a different way that's going to benefit both at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's what the Perfect Society does. So I'd love to get Trump in here or Obama or Kamala Harris, somebody.
Yeah.
But again, I think they would kind of just stick to their guns.
Because they got an image to keep up. And
right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it'd be cool. And I think it's just one of those things like you do have to start small and like as you've started, right? Start with the podcast, start with the book, get the idea out there. Because I'm on board with what you're talking about. And I just think people need to know about it.
Well, the good news is we don't need 100% buy-in. When I wrote the book, I researched every winning president since 1934. Guess what percentage of America voted for the winning president?
You told me once, but I think it was something stupid, like 20, not even 20%, was it? Was it in the 20s?
It's 23%.
23%.
So on average, every election since 1934, 23% of America has voted for the winning president. That's all we need. Because if we get 23% of Americans voting for a happy party facilitator that's going to instill the 4 pillars of freedom, we're set.
Isn't that sad that only 23% of Americans actually voted for the person that's in charge of their country?
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It's wild. So we need 23% and we can get this going.
Yeah, and here's what's interesting. And I don't trust polls. I don't trust statistics, but I saw a poll about 6 months ago, and I forget the exact numbers, but it said how many Republicans there are and how many Democrats there are and how many independents there are. 46% are independent, which blows my mind. I thought it would have been a lot lower.
Yeah.
So out of that 46%, all we need is half, 23.
Yeah.
And again, Republicans and Democrats, if they would kind of chill on their hero worship a little bit, they would realize that the happy party really is the best for their party. The happy party is not some weird fringe thing. The happy party lets Republicans be Republicans a lot more than they are now. And at the same time, the Democrats get their way. The Democrats get their way too. So every political party out there under the happy party gets what they want more often and more efficiently and more effectively. Whereas now the liberals aren't going to get their way until they get a liberal president.
Mm-hmm.
They got to wait years. They could have their stuff now, and the Republicans can keep doing their stuff now.
Well, and like ever since we started talking, like I recognize this more and more, but just every single time we have a different president come in, and I think you said this at the beginning, but the old one or the new one tears down what the old one did, and then we get one from the other side, and it's just this cycle of like no progression or very little, and it's just it feels like such a waste of 4 years.
Well, there's someone in my inner circle that's a huge Trump fan, and he is going absolutely bananas this past year. And I keep telling him, I'm like, hey, enjoy it while it lasts, because as soon as a Democrat gets in there, he's going to undo everything Trump did. They're going to open the borders back up. They're going to chill on the foreign policy. They're not going to be so aggressive, because Democrats are not very aggressive foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, but people have short memories.
Yes.
And they're short-sighted. And every time their party's in power, they think, oh, the Republicans are going to be in here forever. No, they're not. Same with Obama. When Obama was president, the public was saying the same thing. Obama is so great. Look, Democrats are going to be in power forever. And then they got Trump right after. I mean, come on. So that's why I think the independents are going to be easier to talk to.
Yeah.
Because the hard right and the hard left, they're just really stuck in their hero worship, and they think their way is the best way, and they're not open-minded.
Yeah. Time goes by so fast on a podcast. So fast. Well, I got a couple what do you call it? Speed round.
Oh, yes.
Are
you going to do the speed round?
We're going to do a little speed round.
Hey, all right. Finally, someone does it to me.
Yeah. Some of them will be ors. Some of them will just be like, what's the best?
Hit me with whatever.
Okay. Best TV show ever made.
My favorite is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I don't know about the best.
Okay.
That's my best.
Your best. Yeah.
My best.
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Best movie ever made.
Either Shawshank Redemption or Rocky.
I just watched Shawshank Redemption again. I saw it a long time ago, but I just watched it again. Still a great movie.
So good.
It's a great movie.
I have watched it 50 times and I still love it. I still cry at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Favorite sit-down restaurant?
Skyline Chili in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay. I've never been there. Skyline. Is it a big
Don't
chain?
go. It's like crack. You'll get addicted.
Is it a chain or is it just like the one
No, it's
location?
a chain. I think there's about 50 of them. They're in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and now they have one in Florida.
Okay.
But none out here.
Best fast food restaurant. It has to have a drive-through.
My favorite's Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Even though they're slacking a little bit on their Chick-fil-A sandwiches. They're not as thick as they used to be, but
Oh, are they?
no.
But the price goes up.
Yeah,
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. We need a perfect society.
We need a perfect. Yeah, yeah. We'll all vote it out. We vote for bigger chickens.
Yep.
Chunks. Ford or Chevy?
Chevy,
Chevy.
because you got the vets.
Wait, the vets?
Corvettes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Do you have a Corvette?
No, I've owned all foreign cars.
Gotcha. Mac or Mac or PC?
PC.
PC. California or Florida?
Florida.
How come?
Too many homeless in California.
Yeah. Beach or mountains?
Man, I love both. I live in mountains, so I'll say beach because it's not as common to me right now.
Okay. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Well, that's all the questions I have.
Oh, that was fun. I was waiting for someone to give me a speed round, and you were the one.
I was like, we got to do this.
That's fantastic. Thanks,
Anyway,
Tyler.
Curt, thanks for coming on. We talked about your book most of the time and actually really enjoyed talking about it.
Oh, me too. We could have done it for longer. And by the way, those hard questions, they're not really hard. They just take a long time to answer.
Yeah.
Whereas the roads, boy, that's an easy one. School's easy.
Yeah. Right.
But abortion, there's a lot of moving parts to it.
There are.
But at any rate, yeah, I love talking about that.
But you're working on it. Yeah. Like, I mean, because it can be something that, can be fluid too. Because I feel like people's opinions change when they have more information and they actually see things that are happening. And sounds like the perfect society allows for that fluidity where if there needs to be change, it can make a change.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
When does your book come out on hard copy?
Hopefully soon. I'm in the editing stage. I'm hoping spring of 2024.
2024.
See? 2026.
Okay.
See, we don't rely on people. We rely on principle because people are sometimes stupid.
People make
And 2 years behind.
Okay. So this spring.
Yes, this spring. Thank you.
Cool. So by the time this comes out, it'll be out in the next
I hope so.
couple months, hopefully.
Yeah.
But if not, they can get more information where?
Everybody'shappy.com. Everybody's with an S, happy.com.
Just like the shirt, if you're watching, check out the shirt.
Yep, this here at the bottom.
Yep.
Or the Perfect Society. I'm sure I'll make a video on it. And
Okay. And you got it.
hold it up.
And you have a YouTube channel, podcast. Because if people want to learn more about what these ideas, like probably the YouTube channel is probably the best place to go. But if you're just if you just want to listen, you have the podcast on Apple, Spotify, I think other platforms too. So yeah, go check that out, everybody. Any last words?
One last thing. So on the YouTube channel, there is a playlist called The Perfect Society Interviews. And that is where Skylar is interviewing me about the book. We did 6 hours worth of interviews. So the stuff we just did now for 30 minutes, we did for 6 hours. So the Perfect Society Interviews is a good place to start learning more about the Perfect Society and the Happy Party.
Love it.
That's the playlist on the Perfect Society YouTube channel.
There's a lot of playlists for different ideas, and yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. Actually,
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on there, but start with the Perfect Society interviews.
Yeah.
For the book.
Understand and even the book you can listen to the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to the book from the website. You can listen to it. It's on YouTube. Should they start with that playlist you said, or listening to the book?
I would listen or read the whole book first.
Okay.
That'd be the best.
Okay.
So there's a free downloadable digital copy on everybody'shappy.com. The YouTube channel has a 5-hour video of me reading it. So you can either watch me read it or you can listen to me read it. It's the only 5-hour video I've got on the whole channel.
Yeah.
Or the audio book is on Audible, Spotify, and iTunes.
That's true. Right after this, search for the book. You can start listening to it now. And yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks everyone for listening. Catch you next time.